episode 6 review for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought this episode was pretty good. Maybe not as good as episode 4. I can't really tell if it was better than episode 5, but I really enjoyed it. With all that out of the way, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Hit that notification bell and let's get into it. So this episode starts out immediately with us following like what happens after Sam. He's flying into New York City and we immediately get to see his new suit, and I'm so happy that they did that instead of making us wait like 10 minutes. Because that would have been so annoying. His new suit, it looks okay. I don't know what it was. I wasn't blown away. I was just like, okay, it looks good. I was like, it looks good, but it's a lot of white. I think it's like too much white. Like I understand that it's supposed to be contrasting John Walker and like how he has no white on him, just the red and blue, and that symbolizes that he has like a lack of purity. So that's what that stands for in the American flag. And so when Sam comes in and he's wearing all white, it's of significance. But I don't know, it didn't look as good as I thought it could. I just want a little more red, I think. So it turns out that when he flies in, Sharon and Bucky and Carly, everyone's there basically. Sharon shows up, besides Zemo, but everyone's there. Sharon shows up, she's there, she's basically gonna help Bucky and Sam as kind of like backup. This was kind of cool. Sam like does a little flip thing, breaks the window, falls in, and it happens. The dude, he walks past the dude, and the dude goes, "Who are you supposed to be?" And he's like, "I'm Captain America." And I was like, finally. It felt so right. I'm glad that he's Captain America. I'm glad it's not like the Eagle or like Uncle Sam or anything like that. I'm glad that he is actually taking up the mantle of Captain America and like fulfilling what he basically promised Steve he would do. Sam, however, is immediately intercepted by Batroc because Carly saw Sam fly in. She says we need a distraction, so Batroc and Sam start fighting, and then Carly's plan begins in place. She wants to get all the senators into bus shuttles to ship them away and basically blow them up and kill them. And while Bucky's kind of figuring this out, like one of her representatives hands Bucky the phone. She's like, "It's Carly, it's for you." And Bucky and Carly actually have this really nice conversation. I really like how this was handled. I really like the conversation that they had. She was like, "I'm fighting for something bigger than me. Like, what would you know about that?" And he was like, "I fought for something bigger than me twice, and I failed both times." And I was like, twice? I guess one would be World War II for sure. And then the second one, maybe, would it be Hydra or would it be the Avengers? Because I was like, well, he fought for Hydra, but he didn't like, I mean, I guess maybe he failed them, but he fought for the Avengers and won. So maybe that's not what he was talking about. It was just like, it was a nice moment, a good line, and I liked the scene, but I was like, twice? Which one is that in reference to? So then we come back to Sam and Batroc, and he does like a kind of kick flip with the shield. It's kind of like rudimentary like style moves. It's kind of like in the first Avenger when like Cap is throwing the shield around and it's like basic level shield throwing. Sam's kind of there, and it seems, I hope it gets better, because right now it just seems like he's got like, I mean, he does one towards the end where it like bounces off of 4 guys and he catches it. And he's doing some cool flips and stuff, but he basically just has like the basics of that down. And I kind of like that actually, because it means that he's not like as familiar with it. And I like to see that he's still a little rough around the edges, taking up the shield. So after he fights with Batroc, he kind of lays him out a little bit, and then he throws his shield through the window, and then he goes, "Wah!" and just like jumps out and catches it and zooms off. I was like, they're doing it. They're making him look so badass with the shield. I was so excited because they're making him look so cool. And then he chases after the chopper to like go and try and save these people, and the dude flying the helicopter's like bobbing and weaving trying to avoid Sam, and he almost crashes into the police dudes. And then Sam shoots out like 2 separate Red Wings. They're like, phew. And it's like 2 separate Red Wings that just go, and basically like one pulls out the window and then he and the other saves the guy. So he's got like new gadgets and shit. Like the Wakandans hooked this dude up. Like he's kind of cool. I was worried that he wasn't going to be enough without the super soldier serum, but it seems that what they can't give him with the super soldier serum, they're giving him with his like new little tech gadgets / wings. And I kind of like that. It's kind of making me believe a little more that he can, in fact, like do what he has to do. So then we cut back to Bucky, and he's caught up with the trucks that are taking away the people, and he gets into this little encounter, and Carly sets this van on fire, like with people in it, to kind of like get rid of them and distract Bucky so she can accomplish her mission. And he saves these people, and then like there's this really sweet moment where like that promise from last episode where he was like, where Sam was telling Bucky, you need to be helping these people. You're just avenging. You're not like offering your service. This person comes out of the truck, and there's this really subtle moment. It lasts like 2 seconds, and the person's like, thank you so much for saving me. You saved my life. And Bucky's like, yeah, no problem. And it's just like this understanding, like he is getting, like he's feeling better. He's getting like some sort of closure and like redeeming himself in his own eyes. And I really like that. And then John Walker shows up with this hand-me-down shield. It literally is trash. It's like he has a piece of paper in his hand and they just dent right through it. Like the first punch it gets hit by, it just goes straight through the shield. It goes, meh. And I was like, thank God, because there was no way that shield was going to be anything like what he needed it to be. And I'm so glad that that's like the approach they went, not like, oh, this shield is actually pretty good. And then he starts kind of getting his ass kicked and chasing after Carly still. So while that's going on, we cut back to Sam. They're showing off Sam's gadgets, so cool. He phones in with Red Wing, and then he's like, hey, find someone on the helicopter that can fly the helicopter. And he does, he earphones, he gets the plan ready. And then he does this super sweet, like, he does like a flip, and then a barrel roll, and then he's like, throws the shield through the window, it hits the dude, he flies through the door of the helicopter, out the other side, with the dude in hand, drops him in the ocean, saves the ship. I was so cool. And there's so many like posing moments, like with his wings, like it looks, his suit looks so good when his wings are out. I think my problem with it is when he doesn't have his wings out, because when his wings out, there's like complimentary red on the top of it. But like when he doesn't have his wings out, it just looks kind of goofy to me a little bit. I mean, not like enough for me to be like, oh, this is bad, but like, and it looks good in some shots, but sometimes like if it catches the right angle, that's a little cheesy. I don't know why, I think it's too much white, but with his wings out, it looks so dope. So then we cut back to John and Carly, and they're fighting, they're doing their thing. Carly gets the upper hand on John, pushes the thing, and tries to drive the truck with the people in it off the side of a cliff, essentially. And John Walker has this really nice moment where he looks at Carly, and he's like, I can go and take my revenge, or I can save the senators involved. And he has this really nice moment where he kind of grabs his forehead, and then he like looks up and he goes, no, I'm gonna make the choice to do the right thing. We see the truck about to fall, and he starts pulling the ship back up. Honestly, that was kind of nice. It's kind of nice to see he can still be a hero. I know that like there's this stipulation that even I had the stipulation that he was gonna be like a bad guy, but I like that he came back and is now like trying to carve his way into back to being a good person, because he's not a bad guy, he takes it a little too far sometimes, and I appreciate them being like, no, he would choose to save the people because that's what he would do. It still doesn't matter because they beat up John Walker and the ship starts to fall, and then right before it falls, Sam's there, and he pushes the ship back up, and it does the whole da, 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 da. And then we cut to like the bystanders watching, and they're like, oh my god, that's Black Falcon. And then the dude recording with the phone in his hand goes, no, that's Captain America. Damn, man. Damn. They got it. They did it. They've convinced me, and it's just like, it's inspirational again. It's like they make you feel the hope that you're supposed to feel when you look at like Captain America. It was just like so touching to see like the people in the like world that are watching Sam do these things just accept him and be like, oh, like it's nice to have that representation. It's nice to like know that there's someone good out there looking out for us. I thought that was a really, really good moment. I really liked that. So after he saves the bus, they all decide to chase after the Flag Smashers. He does like the 4 shield thing that I talked about earlier, and then Batroc shoots gas, and the Flag Smashers start to run away, and Sam and Bucky and John start to chase after them. And then this is where the crazy shit kind of starts to happen. We finally get the clarity we need on Sharon, because Sharon, Carly, and Batroc all meet in the same place. And we discover that Sharon is the power broker. That's what they say. That's what they say. They tell us she's the power broker. I'm not 100% convinced, because the post-credit scene where she's on the phone with somebody, and also like, who is she talking about? She's like, we have 2 major problems. Well, she knows that they lost Nagel. So I guess she was just stalling, trying to hide the fact, like, she knew where he was the whole time. So I guess she was just stalling, trying to hide the fact that she knew where he was the whole time. And why would she let Zemo in there with him if she knew that dude was an asset? There's just a lot of missing pieces here. And I'm not 100% that Sharon is the power broker. I think she was just taking that role on in front of Carly to kind of convince her. but I don't think that she's actually the person. Also, Zemo, who apparently knows the power broker, referred to him as a he. So it's just a little weird that Sharon like would be the power broker. I'm not 100% convinced that she is, even though they said that she is. I really don't buy that. Anyway, when Batroc perceives to find out that Sharon is the power broker, he tries to hold it over her head, and she just turns point blank and shoots him. So I guess that's the end of Batroc the Leaper. It wasn't a really memorable character, but it was cool to have like that guy around, but I guess he's not coming back because she just like death shot him in the head. So then Sam shows up and tries to break up the altercation that's happening now between Carly and Sharon, and Sam pulls basically the same thing that Cap was doing in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, where he's like, I'm not gonna fight you. Carly's just basically beating up on him. And she's like, give up, fight me back. And she like pushes him to the ground. And she's like, fight me back. And they made my heart leap because Sam gets up. And for a second I was like, holy shit, they're gonna do it. Like she pushes her down. She says, fight me back, give up, or fight me back or give up. Or whatever she's saying. And I thought Sam was gonna get up and look her in the eyes and go, I can do this all day. But instead he just said no. And I was like, oh, I think I ruined that moment for myself because I wanted him to be like, say the Cap line. I wanted him to be like, I can do this all day. Like, get back up. But he said no instead. And I think I ruined it in my head because that's what I thought he was going to say at the moment. But instead he said no. And I don't know. Part of me kind of really wishes he said I can do this all day, but I know that's not what happened, so I shouldn't judge it on that. Oh, God, it feels like such a perfect moment to say that, though. I don't know. It's like they teased us. I think they wanted to homage to that, but they didn't want that to be what actually happened. Anyway, eventually, Carly pulls a gun on Sam, and she's about to shoot him, and then Sharon kills her. She comes out of nowhere, pops her in the back a couple times, and Carly dies. Then we cut to John and Bucky, and they caught the other Flag Smashers because they're idiots and they tell everyone where they're going on their phones for some reason. There's this little moment where John and Bucky kind of have a like, good job, you did it, whatever type thing. But then we cut back to Sam, and he's like flying down with Carly in his arms in this really beautiful shot. He's got his wings like spread out, and it's gorgeous. It looks beautiful. I was just like in awe, like my mouth dropped. And it was like inspirational and like it really worked for me. And he just flies down and like sets Carly on the ground. And then there's the moment. Sam is on the news talking to the senators about what needs to happen with the Global Reparation Council. He gives the speech that basically Carly's message was, but in the way that he wants it to have happened. He explains, I'm a black Captain America, and I understand that this comes with weight. I understand that there are people who are going to hate me for being this way, but I'm still going to stand up and do what I feel is right because I'm not going to stop fighting it. I'm not going to allow the injustices to happen. I'm going to fight this because I believe that we can be better as people. And he says, you're looking at what the terrorists are doing, but you're not looking at the message they're trying to send. You're just looking at the actions they're doing to send that message. And you're not understanding why so many people would follow that message. And he says, we all have a common ground now, and we need to understand what that common ground is, and we need to have everybody represented in how to solve that issue. I love this. I love this so much. Excuse my language. That is fucking Captain America, dude. That is Captain America to the core. There are people there telling him he doesn't know what is right, and he is telling them straight up, this is what I believe, and this is what I know is good, and this is what I know is right, and that is the most Captain America shit I've seen in a while. And then we move forward, and it's kind of the closing time. They're trying to close out the season now, and we see that John is working with Contessa Valentina, and he becomes U.S. agent, so check mark on that box. He may not be a secret op, but I did get it right that he was going to be like some sort of super agent for like the government. So ding. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. He has a new suit, it's all black, just like in the comics. I like his new suit. I like that they're keeping him around because I think Wyatt Russell did a fantastic job of playing this character. Whether or not he's going to be in like a season 2 of the show or just in the MCU in general, I don't care. I thought he was phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what they do with that character next. Then we cut to the 4 dudes that Bucky and John and Sam all caught that are still alive. And they get him onto the ship, and there's like a one world, one people. They close the ship, and I was like, oh, okay, so they're about to break him out. It's about to be like a thing. And then boom, like their whole ship explodes. And I was like, was that them like trying to send a message? And then it shows that it was Zemo's butler, and then we cut to Zemo in the raft just like with a sinister grin. Like he did what he wanted to do. There's only 2 super soldiers left, one of them being Bucky and the other being John Walker. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure Zemo's gonna be okay with John Walker still being around, but clearly Zemo's fine with Bucky. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I hope that they play a little bit more with Zemo in the future. After that, we cut to the scene that I've been waiting for since we found out about it in episode 1. Bucky tells Yuri about his son. Sebastian Stan acts this to perfection. It is one of the most beautiful scenes I have seen in the MCU. He tells him, he's like, I'm the Winter Soldier, or he's like, your son was murdered. And then he's like, by the Winter Soldier, and he swallows the word, like he's like, and that was me, and he like can't get it out. And I tell you what, I was the first time I watched it I was almost crying, and then the second time I watched it I actually cried. Like I literally cried. I thought it was so well done and it was beautiful. And then the scene ends and I was like, no, I needed more. I needed to see what happens to Yuri. I understand that that's not what we're going for. Like we don't need to see Yuri's, we just need to see the fact that Bucky is making like reconciliation. But I really wanted to see how the rest of that scene would play out. It just cuts to Bucky leaving after he tells him, and I was like, damn it. It felt like they cut that scene short. I don't know, it just felt like Bucky kind of got the rough end of that deal. Like we get a really nice scene with Isaiah for Sam, but we got it was so short for Bucky, and I really wanted him to just take a second with that, because he was doing so good, like the acting, the delivery, the line, everything, and I just wanted to see what happened after, and I felt that they cut it a little bit too short. However, it still got me. I thought it was beautiful, and I thought it was so well done. So props to them for delivering that scene well. I just wish it had been a little bit longer. Then we cut back to Sam, and Sam has a heart-to-heart with Isaiah. He goes back and talks to him, and Isaiah's kind of changed his mind. He's opened his mind to the idea that Sam may be right. And then Sam takes him to the Smithsonian, and he's like, nobody's ever gonna forget what you did for this country, because Sam has let them have a monument to Isaiah. Man, that's stuff that I can't relate to. I mean, honestly, like having my history or heritage erased, I can't relate to that. Even though that's not something that I can ever fully understand, it was just done, in my opinion, it was handled so well. Like it was brilliant. It was emotional, it was heartfelt. Isaiah coming in to hug Sam and just say thank you and share that moment with him, I thought it was fantastic. And then after that, we get our happily ever after. Everyone's chilling, everyone's hanging out. They're doing their whole crawfish boil. Basically, they got shrimp on the grill, and they're Bucky's there playing with Sarah's kids, kind of doing a little flirting with Sarah. Hopefully that still works out. This season finale was, I thought it was much better than WandaVision's. WandaVision's was good, but it just left a lot to be desired. I feel like this one wrapped up the story and made you feel like a sense of closure. It felt so nice for this story to end. It just felt like they put the little perfect button on it, and then the title crawl goes and it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So I guess they're changing the name for season 2, which I absolutely adore. However, I wish it was Captain America and the White Wolf. I want it to be Captain America and the White Wolf, because Bucky's no longer the Winter Soldier, and the White Wolf storyline in the comics is easily forgettable. I really wish they went all the way with it and it was just Captain America and the White Wolf. But I do like the name Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I just hope there's no confusion between the movie and the show. Maybe at the end of next season, it'll be Bucky, a little more Bucky-centric, and he'll be becoming the White Wolf now that he's erased that part of him that was the Winter Soldier, or at least accepted that part of him that was the Winter Soldier. So maybe season 3 will be Captain America and the White Wolf rather than Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But we'll see what happens. I really like that they're changing the name though. And then the post-credit scene with Sharon. She's on the phone and they pardon her, but she's still up to no good. This is what I'm saying. Who is she calling? Why would she call anybody if she was the power broker? Does she have a partner who is like, they're both power brokers? I don't know, it just didn't make any sense to me for her to be calling someone, so I'm not 100% that she is the only power broker. And that's the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I really, really enjoyed this season. I liked WandaVision more as a whole, but I think the last 3 episodes of this show are a lot better than some of the stuff we got in WandaVision, but I still think that WandaVision is better overall. There's not really much to speculate on. They kind of closed every door besides maybe Sharon, but I think that's going to be a little more interesting to talk about once we get some more context on season 2 and like where that might go. So that is going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe. It really, really helps me out. Be sure to let me know what you thought of the series down in the comment below, and I'll see you next week or next 2 weeks for The Bad Batch. Can't wait to get that started, and hopefully you'll join me for Movie News Monday this Sunday as well. I know we have a Let's Talk About show coming out on this show and also on Mortal Kombat, so be sure to stick around for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.